As you would know, I'm doing a project series painting this BMW E36 myself. I want to build it into a track car project, and I'm going to be, well, I have done all of the paintwork myself, including the priming, the painting, the lacquering, and all of that sort of stuff. As you probably would have seen in other videos, the paintwork's not perfect, and there's some orange peel and there's some dust in the paint and all that sort of stuff. So I thought in this video I'll show you exactly how you can remove orange peel and dirt in paint by wet sanding it. Now, obviously I'm an amateur, I'm not a body shop professional, but I've got a detailing business, so I have really good experience with machine polishing, but not much experience wet sanding. But I'm basically teaching myself as I'm going. So I'll show you the wet sanding process, show you the machine polishing process, show you what products and tools I'm using, and then if your car's looking similar, you could do the same. So this is the BMW E36 of question. I've started sanding down this piece here. So this bit has been sanded from 1000 all the way up to 3000, but this panel here hasn't been touched at all. You have to excuse this panel because the lacquer was actually too far gone and hardened properly. So I've had to sand it right back, and I'm going to have to repaint it all, which is not ideal. So make sure you check out the video on that if you haven't seen that already, because yeah, that was an absolute nightmare in itself. But if we have a look at this panel, you'll have to excuse the dent, so I'll be getting someone out to do a paintless dent removal on that. But if we have a look in the sunlight, it's very blurry and it's very orange peely, so there's not that much definition in the paint to see yourself. So if I look at myself here, you can't see like clear. There's no clarity in the paint. So what my plans are today is get all this sanded down, get it polished so you can actually see myself in the reflection, because obviously that is not ideal. You can't even make out the car or anything like that in the reflection of that video or of this clip. So yeah, plan is get it sanded down to this, and then we'll get it polished up and then see how it is. The other thing, there is some dirt in the paint, so I don't know whether you can see in little areas, there's little sort of pimples where there's dirt specks. So what I want to try and do is get all that back down to smooth. And if you have a look here, there's a little run and a dirt speck there. So I want to try and take out that run, get it all flat and get it back to as good as I possibly can, because I want to try and get this paintwork looking really nice. And obviously it's not going to be perfect being like done at home in a gazebo, but I just want it to look as good as I possibly can. So obviously, as you can see, the paintwork's not ideal in the slightest at all. The paintwork itself is good, as in the quality and the thickness of the paint is good, and there's enough to work on to sand it. But yeah, it's just there's no clarity in the paint, which is not what I want. I want it to be as perfect as I possibly can, just to make it look really good. I think I want to make it look too good, but I'm not going to want to wrap it, because I actually am supposed to be wrapping it with some sign writing and all that sort of stuff. But hopefully it's not too good where I don't want to do that, because otherwise, yeah, all of this process is probably not worth it at all. But yeah, I'll show you what I'm using on it, and then we'll crack on, and I'll talk to you through the process in a little bit more detail. So one of the first things you're probably going to need is a paint depth reader. So here I've got a cheap and cheerful one, which you can pick up from most of your car parts suppliers like Euro Car Parts, All Parts, or Parts Ever, depending where you're based really. But yeah, this is a paint depth reader which tests the depth and the thickness of the paint, so you know how much to take off. And then basically, so you can change it between, I don't know if you can see that, let's try and get in the shade. So you can change it between, just turn it on. Right, so you can change it between millimeters and mils, and you use this, like I say, to test the depth and the thickness of the paint. Hopefully you could just about see that, probably not, because it's got some weird oily effect. But basically what you want to do is see how much paint you've actually got to play with. So if you test it against the paint, it will say there how many mils or millimeters worth of paint that you have. And the really good paint depth readers have it in microns, so you can look at how many microns of paint that you've got, which is quite accurate. And then you can obviously take off as much or as little as you want. Obviously, if you haven't got much to play with, you've got to be quite careful that you don't take off too much. And when I say too much or too little, you're literally talking about slight microns of paint. So here, because obviously the paintwork's done myself, I've done it quite thick, so there's 13 mils of paint, and I'm pretty sure on a normal car there's only supposed to be between 4 and 6 mils, so I've got a lot to play with. Get an accurate reading, you just want to test it across a few areas of the car, just to work as help if I turn it on, just to see sort of what the average is. So if you do a test here, so that's in millimeters now, so if we go back to mils, so there's 9 mils there, 8, 9, so some areas would be slightly higher, that's 7, that's 9. So between 8, I would say 8 mils of paint that you've got to play with there. There's 8 there, 8, 13, so it's quite high. It's probably because there's filler in this bit. So there's 35 mils, so there's actually filler in these areas. So these areas here, there's quite a bit of filler. So this obviously paint depth reader's right, but ideally you'd want one that tells you microns, just so you can work out exactly how much to take off, because obviously it's saying there's 36 or 48 mils of paint, but some of that will be filler. But like I said, this is a very basic paint depth reader, but it's handy to have just so that you can work out how much to take off. And obviously I'm not going too mad on it, I just want to get the orange peel down as much as I can. So this was about 30 quid. These range between 30 to 3 to 500 quid. So it depends how mad that you want to go. But for just this general car, this one should do the trick. So now you've got a paint depth reader, you're also going to need some sandpaper. So here I have a range of wet and dry sandpaper. So I've got grits from 1,000, so in there's 1,000 up to 3,000 to 5,000 to 7,000. What I'll do, I'll use 1,000 grit, 1,500, 2,000, 2,500, 3,000, and that should be enough for this car. So as well as this, you're also going to need a bottle of solution, just water, or you can put some soapy water or something like that in there, but a bottle of water should be fine to do it. Here's said bottle of water. I'm going to be using a pump sprayer just because it's a lot easier to use. You can literally just cane the whole car with the solution and then obviously tackle it with the sandpaper. So what I'm going to do first is get all this cleaned down, because obviously it's probably going to be quite dusty. I've left it out for a bit. I've been doing sanding elsewhere on the car, so I basically just want it as clean as I possibly can, because we don't want any dust on the paint that's going to cause scratches and stuff, because obviously if you're sanding the paint and there's loads of dirt and dust in there, you're just going to cause further scratches. So just give it a little clean down, little squirt over as such, give it a wipe down, get rid of all the dust and crap, and then we'll get it sent on, get some sand, wet sanding done, and then we can finally start fixing this car up once this bit's been painted on this side, but we're getting there. The colour itself actually looks really good, like because it's Santorini black, it looks mint. Like when this is all sanded down and polished up properly, it's going to look mega. So I've got the sandpaper. I'm just going to break this down into some sections, cut pieces off, basically use half an A4 sheet at a time. I'm not going to use a sanding block or anything like that, partly because I haven't got one, so I'm just going to fold it over and then use it by hand. So what I'm going to do, start off with this bit here, and then we'll get all the sanding down. So I'm effectively just going to water it down as I go, and then use the sandpaper to flatten it off. So what I'm going to do, literally just water it down as I go and give it a light sanding, and I'll show you how I know that it's to the position or the amount that you want it to be. Because it's quite hot, I've got to make sure I water it down quite a bit, just because I don't want to be doing it dry, because it will end up causing further scratches and stuff. Right, so that dent is annoying to be fair, but it's one of those things. I have to get someone out just to do a little paintless dent removal, but I'll show you what I mean by this. So this is said panel. I've started to sand it down. This is what I mean by the orange peel. So you see here, all this black. Basically what you want to try and do is get it down so it's like all sort of dull grey like this. So if we have a look at this door, so you see here it's completely flat. You have to ignore the watermarks. You basically want the panel to be like that. That means that you've taken out all of the orange peel. So if we have a little comparison, it's still very orange peely. So that means if I was to polish this now, you'd still have orange peel in the paint. You want to try and get it back to as flat like that as we possibly can. So still more sanding needs to be done. So I'll keep going over this with 1,000 grit until it's back to as flat as possible. And if we can just see in the paint, you can see little marks like this. So that's just little dust marks, or it could be a little bit of lacquer, like a bit of heavy lacquer and stuff like that. So that's all being flattened out as well. If we have a look there, hopefully you can see that. So little marks like that all being flattened out, so the paintwork will be nice and smooth, which is what we want, other than that bloody dent there. What an absolute disaster. Fuming about that. But yeah, more sanding needs to be done, so let's crack on with this and see how we go on. So that is that panel all now sanded from 1000 up to 3000. As you can see, it is looking really smooth. So there's a couple of little tiny bits of like orange peel and dirt and stuff, but that is literally pretty much bang on, to be fair. So what I'm going to do now is get all this polished up, and I'll show you exactly what I'll be doing for that process in a sec. This is the setup that I've got then that I'll be using. Maybe not the coat, to be fair, so we'll put that one at the back. And I'm already dropping the brand new pads, but a good job there in a bag. So I've got the Koch Chemie H9, I've got the finishing polish M3, and this here is actually the yellow one, whatever that one is, but I can't remember what it is, but the stickers come off anyway, because these two are a bit newer. So I'll be using this with a wall pad, that with a medium pad, and then this with a finishing pad, which the finishing pad is there, so I'll be using the Flex Pads finishing pad for that, and then this is the Koch Chemie wall pad that I'll be using to bring up the paint. So this heavy cut first, then medium, then we're finishing. So the heavy cut will take away the sanding marks and also bring out the clarity. The medium one will take out any of the swells and holograms left in it, and the micro cut will do the exactly same but bring out a bit more gloss in the paint and a bit more depth, which would be cool. So this one on its own is really good for a single stage machine polish because it gets rid of a decent amount of swells and scratches, takes out the holograms from a heavier cut, and just brings out the gloss. So on here you can see how much sort of gloss and how much cutting it will do. So that's up to 9 and the gloss level is 6, whereas this, obviously the cut's a lot lower but the gloss is a lot higher, but obviously that's why you use this one last. So as well as that, I'll be using a little bit of water just to soften the pad a little bit in between passes. But other than that, let's just crack on and see how we get on with this panel with the first cut. Right, so what I'm going to do, use the heavy cut with the wall pad. I'll do this panel first and show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to work it up to setting 6, there's 2,100 revs per minute. So I'll start with a couple of passes with 1 on setting 1 and work my way up very slowly. I want to do about 16 passes in total, or until that you think you've worked in the polish enough. Obviously today's quite a hot day, so you've got to be a little bit careful because it can, obviously this generates a lot of heat in itself, and obviously if the panel's hot you've got to be extra careful because you can burn through. So just fill the panels as you're going along. If it feels too hot, just let it cool down and go again. Luckily the clouds are coming over a bit, to be fair, so hopefully it should cool down a little bit. But like I say, if you ever stuck or if you're wondering if it's too hot, just stop, do the panel below and then come back to the panel at the top. Especially because this is fresh paint, obviously I presume it's going to be a lot softer in this early stage until it cures fully, because paint takes a good few weeks to cure properly. So yeah, just take it easy if you're doing it on fresh paint, but just take it easy in general, to be fair. Obviously this is a rotary machine polisher, so it's slightly more aggressive to a dual action, but if you haven't got experience using a machine polisher, maybe start with a DA and then work your way up. But yeah, let's crack on and see how we get on. I'll probably pull this door towards me in a minute just to try and get up there a little bit. I'll open this one properly as well, it's just that's not in the way, and we'll send this on. So starting from 1, a couple of passes with that, work up to like 3, and then I'll work my way up to 6. But what I'll do, let's just have a look, before I go too mad on it, let's just have a look to see what sort of result that we're getting with that. Oh yes. That looks unreal. Definitely some more polishing needed, mine, but that's starting to take shape, to be fair. So, as you see, panel's looking a lot shinier, a lot glossier, and you can actually see the reflection. So we know that we're on to a good position with the panel itself. So what I'll do, continue on with the rest of it. I'll give this another stage in a sec, just to get that done. And then we can crack on with the rest of it. But good result on that. And you can actually start to see the reflection, which is boss. Oh man, that's so good. I'm getting a little bit excited over that, I'll tell you that. Oh yeah. That's the reflection. What's on? Compared to obviously that's obviously sanded. As you can see, that is starting to look absolutely mint. We'll definitely get someone out to sort this dent out, which is a pain, so you probably would have seen when I was painting it, I dropped it. But yeah, you can actually see what's going on in the reflection, which is boss. But yeah, let's send it on now. Crack on with the rest of it. It's not generating too much heat. Like I said, especially if it's on a hot day, just be a little bit careful. It's always good to be cautious. So what I'll need to do is just get a smaller polisher, just get right up into there, because there's some, where the polish is a little bit too big for it, it's probably just not going to get right into there, so maybe something a little bit smaller will help take that out. But yeah, it's not bad for a minute, to be fair. Yeah, it'd be perfect. So that is one complete panel. I do have to go over it with the finishing polish and the finishing pads, which are still all over the floor because it's blowing everywhere. So I've still got to go over it with this, but I'm going to wait until I've actually fitted up the car properly, because I'm going to end up probably taking these off and stuff. So I will go over it with the finishing polish, but this is just to show you what sort of result that you can get out of sanding and polishing your car. And if you see now, you can see the reflection. Obviously, bear in mind, like I say, so I'll go back over this with a medium and a finishing, but because obviously I've got to touch the car, do the door handles, fit it all up and all that sort of stuff, I don't want to do a 3-stage machine polish and then have to redo it when I actually fit up the car properly. But just look at that. So let's get some similar shots to what I did earlier, so you can actually see what's going on in the paint. So taking out all the orange peel by sanding it, then obviously by polishing it, it's brought out all of the sanding marks, and you can actually see the depth and the clout of the paint. It's a shame now because the sun's gone in, but yeah, now we've just got to do this panel, the other side, and obviously got to paint this panel as well, which is not ideal because that was too far gone. But I'm really happy with that, really happy with that. So it's gone from this all sanded to this. Nice. So obviously the panel's not perfect, so I've got to get that dent sorted out, and it's not completely straight, but yeah, I'm really happy with that. So yeah, got to crack on with the next lot now. Hopefully that was a bit of an insight into how you can restore your panels, take out all the orange peel and get them back to some sort of factory finish. Obviously I've done these panels myself, so it's never going to be a factory finish, but it's obviously a lot better compared to what it was. All the orange peel's out, depth of the paint's back, the clarity's back, and it's looking exactly how it should. Obviously I'll still go around it with the Koch Chemie finishing on the finishing pad, and I'll probably ceramic coat it after, but I'll do that once all the car is fitted up. But like I said, hopefully it gives you a little lesson into how that you can improve your car paintwork by sanding and polishing it Obviously, if you want to keep up to date with the rest of the progress on this car, because I'm starting to make really good progress now, then make sure you check out all the other videos on the E36. Yeah, it'd be good to get as much support on the series of the E36 as possible. And it'd be interesting to see your thoughts. And obviously, let me know down below. Obviously, wet sand is not my like sort of go-to thing. I've not got massive experience in it. So if you've got any tips, any advice for me to take forwards with a next project or the rest of this car, obviously just drop a comment down below and let me know. Maybe you've got a certain polisher, certain products that you prefer using. Let us know. If anyone's in the comments wants a bit of advice, make sure you let them know as well. But like I said, make sure you keep up to date with the rest of the project, and I'll see you guys and girls on the next one. Ciao.